Welcome into Jets Game Day presented by Audi. I'm Caroline Hendershot here with Eric Allen, and the Jets are going to be taking on the Carolina Panthers. Back at home at MetLife, though, the Panthers coming off a very impressive 30-27 win against the Dallas Cowboys. But the Jets are looking to reset in these next two games before their bye. So let's get out of the tunnel and look at this matchup. The Jets and the Panthers have gone head-to-head 8 times in the past, last being 2021. What kind of game do you expect to see from them?
Well, when you look at this Carolina Panthers team so far this season, it's interesting because they're 3-0 at home, but they've yet to win a road game. They're 0-3 on the road. For the Jets, they're just looking to fight and crawl and scratch to a victory. And the bottom line, this is all about building a foundation for Aaron Glenn right now. He's taking small victories and hoping ultimately that leads to victory 1.
While many people might be looking at the Panthers coming off 2 consecutive wins, why could this game actually end up in the Jets' favor?
Well, I'm really encouraged by what I saw from the Jets defensively across the pond against the Denver Broncos. They held J.K. Dobbins to a season low in terms of rush yards. They made Bo Nix uncomfortable in the pocket. And the Jets special teams continues to play at an elite level. So you had 2 phases of the game where you were better than the Broncos, but they need more offensive output this week at home against the Carolina Panthers. You need more than 11 points. They know that. So circle the offense. But for the Jets defensively, they gotta take care of Rico Dowdle, who has, over the course of the last 2 games, has had more than 200 yards from scrimmage in both.
Yeah, they're going to need to definitely keep an eye on him. Let's get into our top storylines presented by HCL Tech. EA, what's your top storyline for Week 7?
Welcome back, Jermaine Johnson, and hello, Jarvis Brownlee. How about what those guys did against the Broncos? Jermaine comes back, he sets the edge, he's stout against the run, he pressures the quarterback. He had 5 tackles and a quarterback sack of Bo Nix. He saw it differently up front, and he's helping guys like Quinnen Williams and Will McDonald. And how about Brownlee? He starts his first game for the Jets, a great acquisition from GM Darren Muji, and you saw him play with an edge, a physicality. He was all over the place. He had 6 tackles and a forced fumble, and the Jets finally got on the board with the takeaway.
Yeah, it was great to see both of them in the lineup and making an immediate impact right away. Now, offensively, with Garrett Wilson out of the lineup, who do you expect to step up?
Well, Breece Hall, you got to start there because he is a weapon, not only running the football, but catching it out of the backfield. Mason Taylor, the emerging tight end, in his rookie season, he had 9 catches against the Dallas Cowboys. He was held just to 1 catch against the Broncos. You want to see him get more in the receiving game. Josh Reynolds is a guy who popped, I thought, against the Broncos, and I like his finish. How about Arian Smith? Maybe the Jets can get a big play, a vertical play in the pass game. Because when you look into this Carolina Panthers defense, they've been pretty good against the run. Where they're giving up plays is in the pass game. George Pickens had a huge performance against them last week.
And as you mentioned before, the Panthers are 0-3 when on the road. So this really could work to the Jets' favor and to the Jets' offense's favor. Now, don't go anywhere because coming up, we have defensive coordinator Steve Wilks previewing the Week 7 matchup. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Do you like the way the guys responded to the challenge across the pond last week?
I really did. When you look at the situation, going to London, having that long flight, the guys' focus was great all week, and it showed in the game.
What was working specifically against the run? Because J.K. Dobbins came into the game on a tear, and you guys held him to a season low.
I think it was just really everybody doing their job. We talk about gap integrity, and everybody owning their gap and understanding you're going to make your play when it comes to your gap. You see sometimes guys trying to do too much, and that's one of the things we talk about accountability is having trust in your teammate and understanding that he's going to do his job as well.
Bart Scott, former Jets linebacker here, he called Jermaine Johnson a force multiplier. What did he mean to you guys just getting him back in the lineup?
He meant a lot, you know. Number one, to his teammates, they respect him, they love him. He brings, again, that trust and accountability when he's out there on the field. His skill set alone, we saw that on Sunday, just his ability to be able to make plays, set edges on the defense, and really create his and win his one-on-one.
How does he change the dynamic for other guys up front, like Quinnen and then Will as well?
Well, I think you really can't focus just on one guy when he's out there. And I think a lot of times when he's going, Will is going, and then that frees Quinnen up inside a little bit. So his presence out on the field was definitely felt on Sunday.
Do you like the way that Jamian stepped up? Because he said that, hey, I got to play better. And then also Kiko was making his second start in the National Football League, and he was flying around.
You know, Sherwood has been that leader for us from day one, and just his ability, again, to accept the responsibility to say, let me look at myself. What can I do better? And he made some great plays out there. I was very proud of Kiko. The game that he had on Sunday, the physicality, playing downhill, running sideline and sideline, you know, he took a step, and I'm excited about that.
Speaking of physicality, was Jarvis everything that you expected?
He was. You know, we talked about it as a staff. You know, Coach Harris coached him in Tennessee, and to be able to get him and go through that acclimation period where he had to go through the process, and then all of a sudden he's on the field, we could see it quickly, and then all of a sudden it didn't take long in the game for it to show up.
You talked about it in the past that you just need more consistency from your unit. One number that stands out to me so far this year, that you lead the National Football League in 3-and-out percentage. Can you speak to what you saw in Denver and how you can carry that over to Carolina and beyond?
Well, I think it's just really the aggressive mindset, you know, and it starts with the mindset of trying to create negative plays on first and second down. When you can do that, you allow the guys to get behind the sticks, and all of a sudden they're not living into 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3. It's hard to really survive in that window. I mean, when you talk about 7+, now our ability to rush the passer up front is there because he's not getting rid of the ball quick, and then our ability to pressure, which we, we love to do that as well.
Are you looking forward to how your group responds now? Because you saw them take a step, and now you've been preaching consistency from the get.
I think that's the key word, and you mentioned it several times now. We have to be able to put a back-to-back performance together, a good one, and that's what we're looking forward to this week.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
This exclusive interview is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. When we return on Jets Game Day, Bart Scott joins us and breaks down the visiting Carolina Panthers in the film room. As we get closer to kickoff, let's get inside the numbers brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 72, as in Kene Nwangwu's kickoff return Week 6 against Denver. After missing some time in the early part of the season, Nwangwu's impact was instantly felt on special teams. With 4 career kick returns for a touchdown, Nwangwu ranks #1 among active leaders who return the football, so anytime Kene gets a chance to return it, he can take it the distance. Our next number is 39, as in the amount of safeties recorded all time in New York Jets history after the latest in London. And get this, the Jets have recorded the most safeties in the NFL with 7 since 2020. Jets fans, your lucky numbers for the week will be 72, 4, 1, 39, and 7. Now it's time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's. Bart Scott, what do you have for us this week?
I'll tell you exactly what I got for you, Caroline. What I got for you is a Jet first turnover of the season, and let's get to how they got it done. Of course, everybody knows that the Jets are going to be a man-to-man, man-free type of team. So we have man-to-man right here. We have man-to-man here. We have man-to-man here, man-to-man here. And this is the free player to help anybody that gets in trouble. Also, what we have here is we have Jamian Sherwood, and he is sitting here as the spy for Bo Nix because everybody knows that Bo Nix is an athletic quarterback that can extend plays with his legs. But I tell you what, this guy being back made it special because he is one of the most complete football players on the team and in the NFL. Welcome back, Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson is going to get right here. Double hand swipe, already has the tackle short. We have man-to-man right here. Everybody's doing a great job. Great job, great job. Jamian right here eyeing Bo Nix as the play continues. We have a miss sacked here. Right here, Bo Nix using that athleticism, but because Sherwood is the spy. He's able to not allow him to get off and buy extra time. He panics, he throws the ball, and we get this turnover here. The turnover here, ball on there by Brownlee Jr., gets the ball on the ground, and Cisco comes up with the turnover. And this is exactly what the Jets needed, getting the ball in the plus territory in field goal range for Nick Folk already. And that's the opportunity that the Jets need and what they're looking for to be able to get the turnovers to put their offense on a short field. This is an amazing job right here. We've been talking about the Jets' lack of communication and being able to see the field the same way. What we're going to have here is we're going to have some communication. We're going to have a motion here, but instead of making this cornerback run and chase from behind, we're just going to do what we used to call rock and roll. That means that the corner becomes the safety and the safety becomes the corner and takes the man-to-man coverage. This means that teams can't dictate to you and yo-yo with you with emotions because you always have leverage, so you're never chasing. You're always coming down with great leverage as well. Again, we know that this is what the Jets' MO is: man-to-man, spy, man-to-man, and we have man-to-man on the tight ends. So this pretty much turns out to be a two-man route. But as the play continues to go, right here you see the communication, pause. So you see that Cisco comes down, man-to-man here, man-to-man still here. But now you see the corner playing safety. So now he's responsible for the help. So this means that if I'm Cisco, I'm going to play outside leverage of everything because I want to funnel him back to my help. And they do a great job in passing these routes off. And eventually, the protection breaks down. Once again, Jermaine Johnson beating his man. You have man-to-man here. Everybody's locked on their man. It's nowhere to go. This is what we call a green dog. One of the safeties decide to go, and I'll show it to you from the other end. From the other side, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Jermaine Johnson makes the layup, makes his presence felt. It was great to see the big fella back. But if we watch the play from the backside, you'll see exactly what I mean when you see the man eyes and you see the communication going on right here. Right here, Paul. You have this guy on the move tight end. Usually the tight end off the ball is the guy that's going to go in motion. You have this, you have the man-to-man right here. You have the spy. You have man-to-man right here. You're going to see the rock and roll play out. You're going to see the switch and leverage, but then you're really going to see the communication. If my man blocks, I can look to help, or I can go to put pressure on the quarterback. We have one who stays because we know what we've seen. We've seen tight ends block, and turn around and become the outlet. So if he goes and he turns around and Jermaine Johnson is rushing the passer, then you have nobody on this guy turning around. That's been huge plays for a lot of people. But right here, you know that this guy's looking to help because they know Jermaine Johnson is a force. So this allows him to green dog and add to the blitz, which speeds up the pressure. And right here, Jermaine Johnson bends the corner. Sherwood committed a little bit too early. He has to stay back because this lineman can't come out to get him. But once he decides to go forward, now he's engaged. So it's a great job because you see this alley here. If Jermaine Johnson's not here, he can come up and maybe hit this guy here. But because Jermaine Johnson does such a great job, finishes the play, everybody, no harm, no foul. But it's some teachable tape there, but it's a tremendous job and a gotta-have-it moment, and the Jets defense stepped up. Now let's take a look at the Carolina offense led by Rico Dow. As he says, buckle up. He's been on a heater for the last couple of weeks. When you look at him, he's been hitting, I think, over 253 yards of total yards rushing in the last 2 weeks. He's been playing at a high level and getting downhill, but they have a pretty good run game and is led by double teams and also a lot of eye wash. When I say eye wash, I'm talking about a lot of motions, simply just to run double teams on players. It's going to be important that you get knock him back. When you look at him, he's a very patient runner. He attacks the hole, he sets up his blocks, but they're doing a good job. He's getting downhill. You'll see it from the backside where the mistakes were made by the linebackers of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you're the Jets, you have to make sure your gap's sound. So before this starts, right here, you have to win here at the point of attack. You also have an overhang player, so if the ball bounces outside, he's responsible for cutting this. He's the front side linebacker. Front side linebacker is responsible for getting down or scraping over the top. He's backside. You read this gap, but you can't commit. and then you have an overflow player as well. Where the mistake is made here is that once you get this motion is controlling the movement of these guys. So backside linebacker in this formation, he's the front side linebacker, and this is the free flow guy that's supposed to make everybody right. And if this ball bounces, you have this guy for the overflow. This is pretty much what we call an 8-man box. So as this play continues to go, pause it right here. You have first mistake, you have now 2 guys in the same gap. This is what you call zone shoulders, man shoulders. He's stuck here, but he's coming down here, but the mistake is this player here committing to the same gap, because now you need an extra player so that you can have what we call the triangle. You have somebody on the front of the guy and on each shoulders, so if one guy misses, we pretty much overlap. And the Jets got to be super disciplined because he's great at setting up his blocks. As the play continues, he reads his block. This guy doesn't know because he doesn't get blocked, knock him back. He gets knocked off the point of attack. You have to set edges in this game. You never want to be this guy. He's 8 yards down the field, and that's never going to be great for sound run defense. The Jets got to do a tremendous job in making sure that they're able to play their gaps but be stout at the point of attack and make sure that they set their edges and play their principles.
Good stuff as always. Thank you, Bart. When we come back on Jets Game Day, we will make our final thoughts before kickoff. This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets.
Well, I'm picking up the system well, just making sure, I'm in the right place at the right time for my quarterback, and just, make sure he can trust me, making sure I do anything I can to help this team win, whether it's blocking or catching the ball, short or down the field. So I'm excited, for the next week upcoming, and just, excited to get that first dub.
As a receiver, he's done a really good job. As you could see that, he could take the top off. And then some of the games, there were some times that, we got to give him a chance on some of them deep balls one-on-one. Here's what's been more impressive with him is how he's done on special teams also. So he's been a big part of what we've done when it comes to punt team. And for our punter to net 49 yards, a lot of that was because of what he's doing. And a lot of those guys, so it's not just the receiving part that he's excelling in and doing better at, but it's also on special teams, which we need him to be able to do that.
That was your locker room roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. Alrighty, now it is time for Make Your Case. EA, you mentioned this earlier, the Carolina Panthers defense giving up 95 yards a game on the ground, while the Jets, they're averaging 136 a game. So let's put the number at 115 yards on the ground. Will the Jets get over that number?
That's a good number. I think I'm going to take the over. I want to see Fields get more involved in the run game this week against the Panthers defense. And I know they have a stout interior, but the Broncos, you can make the argument that they have the top defense in the National Football League. So you combine what Justin can do on the ground with Breece Hall, I'll take the over 115.
Okay. Now, which player in your mind on the Jets is going to be ready to take that next step in their performance and have a breakout game against the Panthers?
Let's go with Mason Taylor because he had the breakout game against the Dallas Cowboys. So this week, I think that he could have the breakout against the Carolina Panthers. Again, when you look at the Panthers, their secondary, it's okay. And I want to see the Jets take advantage of some soft zones out there. And Mason Taylor is a guy who can be quite productive.
All very good points. Now, before we close out this show, let's just hear your final thoughts ahead of this matchup. Floor is yours.
Listen, it's a great opportunity for the Jets. They talk about each week building on the improvements. So far this season, we know where they're at. They're the only team in the National Football League yet to have a win. They have 3 two-point losses to Pittsburgh, to Tampa, and to the Denver Broncos. Those are all 3 teams who made the playoffs last year. They're likely to make the playoffs again. No moral victories, but you can build on what you did last week because defensively it's all coming together. You started a pair of rookies and Malachi Moore and Kiko Mayanoa. Jamie Sherwood had his best game. How about special teams? Kene Nwanwu was popping. You had Arian Smith making plays. Nick Folk's been perfect on the year. Austin McNamara is playing at a Pro Bowl level. Those 2 units are ascending. For the offense, this is a bounce-back game.
Alrighty, there you have it. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Jets Game Day. Ahead of this Carolina Panthers matchup, you'll catch us back here again next week before their last game before the bye. We'll see you then.